we move forward. So I'm picking parts of this video from Bellular News. The points that I'm picking are specifically just imagery for the incentives. I mean, like, we know the data on this incentive program already. There's no point in really going over it again. The short version is, big high tier streamers are going to be losing subscriber revenue after about $100,000 worth of subscribers over the course of a calendar year. The ad incentive program is streamers get 55% and Twitch gets 45%. The same subscriber payout system, the same split is here. It's 50-50 for everybody except for those contracted people, but the contracted people are going to come down. And this that we're looking at is the ad incentive program specifically for targets. So Twitch is telling you, here's a target that we'd like to see you hit. And if you do hit it for ads over the course of your stream over a given month, we'll give you some extra bucks. So in this image, we have the reason why this image is here is because we had a tweet from someone, a streamer obviously, who said that previously, and I can vouch for this because while I didn't see it, I saw images of the original setup for this. Originally, it was like 1, 2, 3 minutes from what I've seen. Yeah. And it looks like it maxed out at 5 before. That's a possibility. This particular streamer got a minimum of 5. So you have to run 5 minutes of ads per hour, which I just want to point this out, by the way. That's not like a default thing. Usually the default is 3 minutes that you can have the automatic ad manager do. You actually have to like run extra ads, I think, for this. And if there is a way to do it up to 8 minutes, like
apparently this only works through the automated ad system. If you run manual ads, it doesn't count for this.
That's so fucking dumb.
If you run manual ads, you have to do it through the automated system.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, actually. That's so stupid. What they
said in this video. If you watch the whole video, that's what they talked about at one point, that like it doesn't work if you run manual ads.
That's so dumb. I completely missed that fact. Completely missed that. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I don't know what they're thinking is going to happen. Like, is somebody just going to spam a bunch of ads over their stream? That's not going to work. That's going to deteriorate their stream so heavily that people are just going to stop watching. I don't understand the logic of that one too. Like, every ad should be incentived. Should go into this pool of the incentive pool. But 8 minutes of ads. I don't know what the data is on TV ads, but I'm going to guess something. I'm going to guess for every 30 minutes of TV, we'll probably get maybe 5 minutes of ads tops. Okay?
Ooh,
I'm guessing that.
That's generous.
That's generous, yeah.
I think it's
not 10. It's not.
I feel like it's between 5 and 10. 5 seems low.
Maybe 7. I mean, if you ever watch a 30-minute program, the program itself is like 22 to 23 minutes. Yeah. So let's say it's 7 minutes.
I guess, I was thinking more like hourly. I think hourly, as Ghost saying, you get about 15 minutes. So yeah, it's like 7.
That makes
minutes, 7 to 8 minutes per half hour.
Then that math works out. So they're saying that they have to they're about half the way. They're a little bit more than halfway to TV. And Spoon, I hate TV ads. I hate them.
Yeah, so do I. But at least on TV, when they take an ad break, you don't miss any of the show. Like, it is a scheduled ad break.
Right.
And the show continues where it left off after the ad break, or the sporting event, or the movie, or whatever the heck you're watching. In Twitch streams, not everyone comes in at the same time, so the random ads are at like different times for everybody. And the streamer doesn't know when that is, and it just interrupts the stream for however long the ad break is. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever.
Right.
Like,
so you have an interruption issue too, where let's say you're watching a TV show and the critical moment's about to happen in the show, the big question is about to be answered, and
3 minute ad.
Here's an ad, and by the way, the show doesn't pause. So, I mean, on that respect, it's worse. Obviously. That's one aspect of this. Let's pause there for a second. There's another point in here. Okay, we're gonna get We're gonna get this ad from YouTube. Get a Black Adam ad. Here's another one. Okay, I wanted you to think through the math on this, and then I want to pose something that obviously has been posed in this video. So this person says, let's not focus on the money amount for a second here with the $10 jump from 1 to 3 minutes. We know the math doesn't make sense. There's no conversation. 147 hours in a given month is slightly less than 5 hours a day, assuming you stream every day, which people don't stream every day. Most people don't.
I mean, you shouldn't. That's like, I don't know.
Right.
You shouldn't work every day. That's not healthy. Even like normal jobs, you know.
4 times 5, 20 days. Okay, let's actually do 147 divided by 20. Let's just do that. Let's assume that holidays and all that doesn't exist. So you're looking at about 7.35 hours over business days is what I'm looking at. I'm just going off of we're pretending there's 4 weeks in a month, okay? Yeah. And there will be 5, 4.
Depends how the days fall. There's going to be a few more probably, but
yeah, it doesn't.
It really depends.
We're using simple math today.
Yeah, exactly,
we're going to use simple math, and
yeah.
Simple math says 7.35 hours on that. So let's round down 7. Okay, let's round down. That's to me that's full-time job.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
So the expectation is Twitch is saying, okay, for your full-time job, you're going to stream every day, and we'll give you $2,581 on top of what you make. If you run 1 minute of ad per hour. So if you run 147 minutes of ads in a given month. Okay. So I want to pose this. If you're a full-time Twitch streamer, you are also a full-time content creator. You don't generally stream 8 hours anymore, 7 to 8 hours anymore in a given day. My expectation would be you're probably streaming like 5.
I was gonna say like 4 to 6 seems reasonable.
Yeah,
4, 5, 6, something like that.
You're probably streaming 5, and your other, let's say 4 too. Maybe we'll also throw out 4. You're gonna spend the other 3 to 4 hours of your work day doing all your other content stuff, which there's a lot. I mean, like you're having a manager, likely you're handling and trying to coordinate your sponsorships. You're coordinating your general content through social media channels. You're probably putting up videos on YouTube. Somebody's editing those. You're not editing them anymore because you're too busy. So you got to deal with that. $2,581 is not enough to handle 3 extra people on your business, on your brand. It's like, that's not enough for a given month. So like this is another aspect where Twitch is not seeing this. Like the executive people here who are telling people about the numbers and how the algorithm should handle this do not understand what a content creator's job is. I think they just assume, oh, you're the only one that does your content and you stream all day. And that's just not reality. That's like assuming that I'm on phone calls all day talking to like customers. That doesn't actually happen.
Yeah. I mean, when we've talked about this, like this thing is done like completely through an algorithm, which is not, at least from what I've seen, not programmed very, very well. And it's just like, it has something to do with like the amount of hours that you streamed in the last month. Like, correct. I'm sure it takes other things into consideration, but that to me means like this is gonna go up like every single month because it's probably gonna ask you to put in a little bit more each month. So if you start from a high baseline, it's gonna just keep going up, at which point you're not gonna be able to meet it. And secondly, this isn't like a, you know, oh, if you miss it by an hour or a couple hours or 5, if you stream 140 out of those 147 hours, you get, you know, the vast majority of that pot. Like this is if you hit this goal, you get that. If you miss it by 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second, you don't get it. You get zipped. You get none of the bonus. It's a bonus. Like
it's an extremely poor implementation. It's only considering 30 days, which is not good. It should be 90 at least. I think 90 at least is fair. And it shouldn't just pile on more work. It should go over the last 90 days. Your average is X. in this case, let's pretend it's 100 hours, just for argument's sake. Okay, your average is 100 hours. We're just going to give you the average again. If anything, we're not going to tell you to do average plus 10. If you do the average again, we'll give you the incentive. Whatever portion of the average you do, we'll give you a portion of the incentive because you're still running ads. So in this case, let's pretend 100 hours. Let's just say it's $1,000. If you stream 50 of it, you should get $500. And that's it. That's as easy as it has to be. And by the way, the incentive should be much higher. $2,581 for a full-time content creator. It's not nothing, but it's also somewhat like silly.
I'm sure it's completely dependent on how big your channel is. Like the more viewers you have, the more this is gonna go up. Like,
absolutely. And if you're a channel that's at the point where you're like big and you're able to do your full-time content creation, 2,500 again is not nothing, but at the same time, it's like it's not paying for extra people on your staff kind of money. It doesn't. I think the number is too low as an incentive for me to think like, okay, I'm not saying it has to be like $20,000, but
yeah,
2,500.
The big problem is like this incentive system. Like it's just completely like it's both anti-streamer and anti like consumer or viewer. Like
right.
This, I mean, yes, it benefits the streamer if they're able to hit the goal, they get more money. Okay, sure. But like just the way it's implemented is just so it's just so frustrating. And yeah, and it's like, and the streamer has like no control over it whatsoever. It's just a lever that like Amazon gets to adjust, and just they basically get to tell you, hey, do this and get your bonus. If you don't do it, then screw off.
Right.
It's just, I don't. It's just horrible. Like Twitch, I don't know.
Twitch is here's my opinion. Here's my big brain opinion. Twitch is about 2 mistakes away from an exodus. It depends on what the mistake is, but 2 mistakes away, I would say.
I think Twitch, they are heading towards a complete downfall right now, and if they don't right the ship soon and start doing some things that are actually good for streamers and or the viewers, people are just gonna be like, this isn't worth it
it's not
anymore.
Worth it.
Like Twitch is just garbage. Like everyone, let's just go to YouTube, because like YouTube has ads too, but YouTube ads are not nearly as intrusive as Twitch ads. They're not as long.
Right.
Usually you can skip them after 5 to 10 seconds or something like that. Sometimes you have to sit through maybe like 15 to 20 seconds of ads total. Maybe 30
it's not bad.
If you're really unlucky.
And they're not intrusive. They're not going to be intrusive to you.
And the ad split apparently on YouTube, it's 55-45. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's none of this incentive bullshit. It's just like, that's what it is. Ads are ads. Done. No extra. That's
yeah. There's no extra things to consider. Here's an interesting thing about YouTube too. I don't know how Twitch does this. If you have YouTube Premium, which is the equivalent of Twitch Turbo, the streamer still gets revenue. YouTube just says, okay, well, this person would have had an ad, but since they had Premium and they watched your content, we're just going to give you money anyway. And they were saying in this video, you get more.
It's actually better. It's better than ads.
So I'm like, okay, like that to me is also content. It seems like YouTube is taking. I'm gonna say this without any confidence. YouTube is taking a calculated, we're just going to lose money on this live streaming section for now, because, obviously our video on demand is where the money is made. We're just going to take an L for money generation in live streaming for now. We're going to do all these great things for the content creators, because at some point we're going to get to where these 2 lines are going to start intersecting. They're going to start to hit a point of intersection where Twitch is taking L's, YouTube is going to lose money, but get the creators to be happy. And at some point, the graph is going to hit here. And that's when people are going to go, what's the fucking difference? What's the difference anymore? You know, the difference is Twitch has a community that is held up completely by its content creators. Twitch, I mean, like, it's not like you can say Twitch has subs anymore compared to YouTube. YouTube has that. YouTube, you can gift memberships, I guess, but I think the culture is a little bit different with Twitch. Gifted memberships don't happen as often on YouTube. I don't know how the emotes work specifically for YouTube, whether they're cross account, as in like you can use emotes from one person to another if you remember. I'm sure that's the case, but I don't know. But at some point, people are going to start to go, well, what's the point? And the main other thing that I think is discoverability is a bit challenging with YouTube. They're still trying to figure out how to improve live streaming discovery.
Oh, look, yeah, live stream, yeah.
Live stream discovery is
because their entire interface is built around the
video on demand.
Video on demand, and I don't even actually know I don't watch streams on YouTube very often. Usually, if I do, it's because it was like in my recommended, just like on my front page. I don't even know where to click on YouTube to get to like the live streaming section.
Here's the crazy thing. So like, even just their sidebar. Let's just focus here. Here's the sidebar. Like, when a stream is live, you get an icon here, right there. That little icon shows it's live. Outside of that, you have to scroll all the way down. And then you click this.
Like live, yeah.
And when you click it, look at this. Okay. This is what I get. Like, this was... I didn't calculate this at all. This is what I get. Recent live streams, upcoming... Here's all these live streams. There's no section. Okay, so that was live. Here's gaming. So here's gaming. Top live games. So this is what you get with top live games. Which
this looks like Twitch. This looks like Twitch.
This looks like Twitch, but now. I had to go all the way down here, and if I go to the main YouTube page, I mean, like, there's no way to know. Oh, well, where do I go for the gaming stuff? Here, this will just filter out for gaming. Well, that's not going to work. How do I get to games live streams?
Yeah, I feel like
There's no way.
I feel like there should be a section on like your homepage, or if you like scroll down a little bit in your recommended, there should be like a live stream like area after. Yep. I don't know, but like,
and there isn't. And this is YouTube's problem. This is the homepage, and I don't know where to go to get to a live stream. I don't know where to go, like right here. This is a huge problem, and the only way to know is to click this and go here. And that's not, I don't find that to be a good way to get people to be discovered. And even when I get here, like, okay, let's just pick Overwatch 2. I click Overwatch 2, and this is what I would expect right here. This is kind of what I would have expected.
This looks like Twitch's interface at this point, basically. Like,
right. So this is a better expectation for this, and this is just my region. I don't know why it's specifically my region. Recent, so here's our video on demand. Let's plays. I don't know how Overwatch 2 Let's Play works in this case, but so you've got like all this stuff, but like think about how hard that was to get there actually, and like that was difficult to get to. We had to click here, scroll down, click gaming, and finally we get here. This isn't gonna work in the future. Twitch needs to have a way, or sorry, YouTube needs to have a way where there's some mechanism, like you said, maybe like right here, just put gaming or like live stream. Just do this. Yeah. Like you have all these things which are the simplified shortcuts to several YouTube items. Just put one of these as gaming, and that's going to solve a problem right there. It's very obvious, simple. I don't know what it looks like when you make it smaller. Okay, so like the mobile's different, but anyway. At some point, the graph is gonna hit. It's gonna hit an intersection point, and people are gonna start going, well, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing? And like, is it worth it at this point as a creator to put up with Twitch? I mean, here's just another example of like, who did the math here? 1 to 4 equals double not even double. By the way, that isn't actually double.
This this was an issue that we initially pointed out when this incentive system came out, was that like the math just wasn't working out. Like the more ads you played, like yes, you got more money, but like the ratio wasn't right,
Right.
basically. Like if I play twice as many ads, I should get twice as much money, but for some reason that's not the way it works. Where's that extra money going? Like, is Twitch just pocketing it? Because it's supposed to be like a bone. Like, that doesn't make sense.
It
Like,
doesn't, and Twitch is pocketing it. That's completely what's going on. Is Twitch is just keeping it. They're like, here, well, if you go from 1 to 4, we'll give you not twice as much. What happens to the other massive chunk? Poof. And it's gone.
Yeah.
It's the South Park joke of, and it's gone. Like, that's Twitch.
and it's gone.
That's Twitch right now with these ads incentives. They're like, and it's
Yeah.
gone. That's it. I streamed, but I streamed for 26 hours. Well, you didn't hit 27. It's gone. Poof.
Yeah, and again, everything I've heard is that's just Twitch is just completely out of touch right now with anything that literally anybody wants, other than like the big wigs at Amazon. Basically, they're just telling them make me more money, or maybe I don't know. I don't know if Twitch even makes money right now, which may be the problem. Amazon's like, hey, make money.
So clearly that is a problem.
Or if it's Amazon saying like, hey, Twitch doesn't make enough money, make me more money.
Right.
So yeah, we don't know what that looks like, but either way, like, yeah, Twitch is taking a lot of L's right now, and I agree, and they said it in the Bellular video as well, that like this could be the beginning of the downfall of Twitch. Like they're headed in that direction, in my opinion. They're really screwing the pooch lately. They have not done really anything good in the past 6 months at least, but maybe more than that. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been taking a lot of L's. The ratio is bad for them. That's what I'll say. I think they've done maybe 1 or 2 good things. I don't remember what exactly they were off the top of my head, which isn't a good sign. But I remember all the bad things.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I wanted to put on here because I thought it's interesting. So, just more or less, the tweet is just saying, look, every time I'm trying to watch videos on Twitch, I'm getting 7 ads, and after a certain point, you just move on to somewhere else because YouTube doesn't give you 7 ads in a row.
Again, you usually have to watch an ad for 5 seconds and then you can skip it on YouTube.
So the thought at the end of this was, am I beginning to give up on just tolerating the ads? I mean, it's one thing when you're like, I'm giving up on like this as an implementation, but like if you're giving up on tolerating something, then you just stop. The toleration is like the point at which you're like, I'm putting up with it, but like the ruler's bending.
Yeah.
Like if you give up on tolerating something, you've broken the ruler. Like there's nothing left.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I've openly admitted this. If I go to a channel, I don't care if you're a big or small channel, and if you're like, if I like you or not, if you're like my friend. If your channel gives me 8 ads, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. If I get 7 to 8 ads, I just leave. Like, nope. No, thank you. I don't know how good your content is. I no longer care. If you're an affiliate that gets like 10 viewers and you're playing 7 ads, I'm leaving as well. And I'm telling, and if I knew them, I would tell them, look, you're an affiliate with 10 viewers and you're running 7 ads. You will make 3 pennies each time you do that.
Yeah.
And you won't make $1 for like months.
That's the other thing. It's like these incentive systems maybe look enticing for affiliates and maybe like low level partners, right?
Yeah.
But like,
sorry, keep going.
As you said, if you're an affiliate with 10 viewers, 20, 30,
Oh, 1 second. Keep going. 1 second.
And you run that many ads, you are really hurting your content, and some people are just gonna bail, and you're probably gonna hurt yourself more in the long run than the incentive is gonna gain you. So yeah. Amazon Twitch is not it right now, unfortunately. They are doing a lot of things to upset a lot of people.
Okay. Update. I have to do a couple more things now, apparently, including moving a car. Just, I don't know, you gotta keep going, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I mean, I think we have pretty much reached the end of this conversation. But yeah, Twitch is I think Twitch is pushing a lot of people away. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention about the incentive system, which maybe was kind of brought up earlier, but when the incentives first came out, whenever it was, a month or two ago, a few months ago, it was like play 1, 2, or 3 minutes of ads per hour for the incentives, or maybe it was like 2, 3, and 4, or like 2, 4, or 5. They were like really like a reasonable number of ads, and then we saw the screenshot at the beginning where it said 5 was the lowest. Like the options were like 5, 6, or 7 minutes of ads, and obviously that's not gonna scale up to infinity, where you're getting play an hour worth of ads over an hour, where like literally it's no content and all ads. Obviously, I don't think the algorithm would be stupid enough to go up to that point, but we don't know how far Twitch is really willing to push that. Are we gonna get up to that like TV level where it's 15 minutes of ads per hour? Which again, we have people saying that 6, 7, 8 minutes of ads per hour is basically makes a stream unwatchable. And yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree. If I'm watching a stream and I'm getting multiple 7, 8 strings of 7 or 8 ads in an hour, so that's like multiple 3-minute ad breaks in an hour, it gets pretty painful, and you don't really want to put up with it anymore after a while. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Anyway, any other thoughts on this?
I think I had just finished giving my last thought on it.
Perfect.
So I think we can move on.
Perfect. Okay. So last week, when we talked about this, Spoon, we were
like that story had literally just coming out earlier that day before we talked about it. So
the thought was that we were just to be clear, we were on the side of Hellena Taylor, is what I kind of came away with. I was like, okay,
most people were.
Yeah, most people were. We're probably wrong on this, and I think we are wrong.
A lot of people were wrong.
And apparently, Platinum had offered Hellena Taylor 3 to 4K per session for at least 5 sessions. Let's pretend it's 3K, 15K total. According to 2 people familiar with the deal and documentation viewed by Bloomberg. Okay. Taylor asked for, in response,
Yeah, go ahead.
She asked for a 6-figure fee and residuals. Okay, let's just stop there in particular. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that apparently this was corroborated by a couple of different outlets. It wasn't just this one. So this is like, it seems to be pretty well accepted that this is probably true. Like, this reporting is pretty true. And Jason Schreier tends to be a pretty darn reputable source. Despite what you may think of him or whatever, I don't know. But and he also his reporting tends to side with like the union and the workers as well. He's not like he does work for Bloomberg, but or writes for Bloomberg at least. I don't know if he actually works for them, but maybe it's just a contract. I'm not really sure. But anyways, he doesn't. At least his reporting doesn't usually come off as like, corporate junkie, basically, where he just
he's
always
unbiased. I think he's unbiased.
If he was biased at all, he's biased in the other direction.
Right. So which it leads people to feel like, okay, this is a good source. That's what I think the thought process is for why people would side with something that Jason would be saying.
And plus, if you lie about something like this as a reporter and someone else like doesn't corroborate your story or says the exact opposite, then you lose credibility as a reporter, and that's really bad. That's really bad for a reporter, let's be honest.
Yeah. And to continue on the Twitter thread, Hellena Taylor denied all that, obviously. Said that was a lie, the Platinum's trying to save themselves in the game. And then I'm going to skip this part over here. We also know who the new Bayonetta actor is, Jennifer Hale. And again, my thought was when Jennifer Hale was said to be the new actor, my thought was, well, I don't think Jennifer Hale would take a lowball offer. I don't think she would.
She's pretty well known.
Yeah, pretty well known. So if she's taking the offer, I don't think the offer is bad. So I think that the currently where we're at, I don't know if anybody's actually gotten a full conclusion on this yet, as far as like, okay, now we know exactly what's going on. We know that one party
and we
wrong.
Probably never will, because those kinds of documents are pretty protected, and I don't think we'll ever see the document like saying what the offer was or anything like this. It's kind of a he said she said situation, but kind of okay. What we said last week was that like we are inclined to believe Hellena Taylor because coming out about something like this is not, that could be potentially career damaging, especially if you're lying.
Right.
And that's why we were inclined to believe her last week. But then this week comes along, and again, you have a very reputable reporter corroborated by a few other reporters who said a similar thing. So
it's tough. This one's a tough one.
I mean, now I'm going the other way. I'm more inclined to believe the reporter because again, their kind of reputation is on the line there. So I don't know. Like,
it's interesting because like I mean, like from the tweets itself, according to two people familiar with the deal and documentation viewed by Bloomberg. So like, it leads me to believe that multiple people involved with this process with Hellena Taylor and her compensation, as well as documentation. So Jason Schreier wouldn't just lie about documentation. Like, he wouldn't just do that. So I'm inclined to believe Jason here because he's actually explaining that he's seeing documents. Also, like, he's not the type of person to just lie about seeing reports and be like, no. So if he's seeing documentation and if he's hearing these things and he's seeing that it's about 3 to 4K a session for the 5 sessions, I would lean towards believing him as well. And that's just where I'm at right now. I think Hellena Taylor may in fact be trying to, I don't know about, I mean, like, obviously she's trying to sabotage the game because she's upset. But I also don't, it's very confusing, her angle right now, because like this is her voice acting career. Like, this is the nail in the coffin for this. I mean, like, it didn't even have, and she didn't even have a spiral down. It's just like you just killed it right now.
Yeah, she'll probably never get another job voice acting again after this.
Exactly, which is why I'm confused for her. Like, this to me is very confusing because I'm like, okay, well, are you just done with the industry and you just want to make a point? I don't know, because
want to make a statement that voice actors are underpaid, which is probably true.
It's 100% it's possible, but like for her, I'm just thinking, well, if you wanted to continue working, like you just decline the offer and move on. And if you still want to make a point about voice actors being underpaid, you don't have to do it this way. You don't have to do it this way either.
Yeah.
You could have done it in another way that wouldn't have damaged your career completely and just destroyed it for voice acting. And by the way, like that wouldn't even be the first time I think somebody said voice actors don't get paid well. I'm sure that's been said before.
It's a really hard industry to break into in the first place, and even if you do, it's, you know, yeah, doesn't seem like it. I mean, if you're good, I mean, if you're, you know, if say she's getting $15,000 for well, 4 hours, like she's getting close to $1,000 an hour there. But
Yep.
obviously, the risk with this type of work is it's like it's freelance, and okay, yeah, maybe you get a relatively big payday when you get a job, but you can go months without having a job at all. So
Right.
that's kind of the risk with, you know, this type of
So you
work.
need some kind of consistent stream of work where you're like, okay, I take, 4 to 5 of these, trying to get 4 to 5 pieces of work a year, and that amounts to some kind of like, okay, we're passing by now. We make enough where we're able to live. There are probably,
Yeah.
I mean, like but to be fair, there are voice acting positions with certain games, I'm sure, that are definitely paying more than like way
Yeah,
more than
probably.
enough for somebody to just be like, yeah, this is my one voice acting job for the next year. I'm good.
And
But
if you're
that's
a
like
voice,
probably
if
specific.
you're a, I mean, and this isn't necessarily games, because games are like, you know, they kind of make one at a time, and there can be long running series, but they, you know, there's kind of chunks at a time. But if you're a voice actor on like a long running like anime or something like that, then that's probably more consistent. You know, if
Yeah.
you play like Goku, like, you know, Sean Schemmel in Dragon Ball playing Goku, like that's probably pretty consistent, because that's, you know, just plays Goku.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
he
and
always got work.
then he also voices Goku in all the games and stuff too. So,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
he's got other work in other Funimation related projects and things like that. Like I've heard that voice in other projects. So
yeah.
it's not like he's just like, I'm doing this one voice of Goku and that's it. He's doing other projects. They all are doing other projects under this like umbrella, because that, I mean, those brands like Funimation, they're just going to bring the same voice actors back. They're like, okay, well,
Yep.
you were good, we trust you, do this one too. And it's as easy as that. Like yeah, like all these voices, like yeah, I've heard in other shows, and it's just like, yeah, they don't just take the one big role and
And
run with it.
the one other thing with Helena Taylor that was like, I don't know, seemed kind of disingenuous to me is this didn't get talked about very much, but there were like 3 or 4 videos that she released when she initially revealed this. And the first one was most of what everyone saw, and I watched the second and third ones. I don't really remember what the second one was about. The third one, I don't really remember most of what it was about, but at the end she says something along the lines of like, Jennifer Hale doesn't have the right to call herself the voice of Bayonetta. That's my voice. And it was a very like I kind of see what she's saying, but at the same time, it's a very arrogant statement, and it's like,
It's an
I
aggressive and
don't,
arrogant statement.
yeah,
It's aggressive, uh, because you're not only being arrogant, but you're also just telling the other voice actor, you can't be this, which is also just like, you're burning the bridge there too. You're burning so many bridges, and I don't I mean she's done. She's not going to be a voice actor anymore.
yeah.
So, you're done. So she's done, and you're just like, there's no reason to even bring up Jennifer Hale either. There's just no reason at that point, unless you really just want to like never have any sort of. I mean, like, I don't think she'd ever be in the entertainment industry again. I just don't see it with
I mean, apparently,
involving that kind of voice acting work and things like that.
yeah. I mean, I think she's involved quite a bit with like theater and stuff like that, and I would think she would be okay with that. But like, yeah, the digital sort of like, yeah, voice acting, or yeah, I wouldn't think she'd get another job
No,
in
she's
this industry at all.
that's it for her.
Um,
She's done.
And the one other thing I wanted to mention is that her if and again we don't know like if these numbers are correct or like what the deal with is, but again, if this article is to be believed, the counter offer from Helena Taylor is absurd and not like bargaining in good faith in my opinion. It's
No,
like
it's not.
she's being offered, 4 or 5 sessions, like $3,000 or $4,000 a session. That's gonna come out to like 15 to 20,000 for the whole game. And then her counter offer is 6 figures plus residuals, so something over 100,000. It doesn't say what that number is. It's like
Yeah.
that's just so far off of what their offer was that it's just like, if she said no, okay, I'd want 25K or 30K, it's like, okay, that's a little closer and a little more reasonable where you could actually bargain. But
Right.
if your offer to me is 20K and I go like, how about 150? You're just like, what do I even do with that? Like,
Yeah, it's just like
no,
there's no
absolutely
negotiation.
not.
I can't negotiate with that. Yeah, and it's just it could even have been like, I'll do 3 to 4K, but I want the residuals. I want the guaranteed residuals. I want some guarantee of getting some royalty on top based on sales. Like, and that probably could have been part of the offer. Um, and I think that's fair too to ask for. It's like, yeah, and I also want a percentage of sales of the game, like just like, and it would be very small. That I think that's a fair ask too, particularly when you're a voice for a specific role, and it's like Master Chief is one voice.
Yeah.
Master Chief can ask for a royalty and be like, "Yes, I will do the job. You'll pay me this amount, but I also want some royalty percentage based on sales numbers, things like that." Like, I think that's fair. It's 100% fair because you're like, look, well, I mean, like, I'm Master Chief, like, you know, um, but Helena Taylor, like, asking for $100,000 at minimum and be like, give me residuals too, when the offer was 15 to 20. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, I could understand Platinum being like, okay, well,
No thanks.
I guess we'll just have somebody else do it. I don't know. You're
Yeah.
asking for a bit too much, I think.
And actually, the last part to the story is apparently after like that exchange happened and she declined to, they were basically said, okay, this isn't gonna work. They then apparently offered her after that like a single session for like a similar amount, like 3 or 4K, to be like to do a cameo. Basically, just come in for one session, do a cameo, or maybe it was a couple of cameos to put her voice in the game, and
Right.
she declined. She declined that too. So
I mean,
yeah,
they gave her
this
multiple
yeah,
chances.
it just feels like she is pissed off about something and she just went on a bridge burning spree basically and was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm done with this and I don't care to I would assume that when she did this she had to assume she's like, yeah, I don't care to work in that industry anymore because she doesn't like it or she doesn't like the culture or the way she's being treated or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's exactly what she's thinking. So, anyway, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
This is just like kind of interesting seeing this whole thing unravel.
Yep.
Bit surprising. Um, Also, I just like this one thing where it's like they should teach critical thinking if you only hear one side. People, it doesn't. People do this all the time. Reaction is just a part of entertainment nature. So nobody's gonna do this. I don't know. This person's trying to make a point, and it's just like, yeah, there's no point here. People are gonna react anyway. That's what sells is reaction.
I mean, yes, but also at the same time, like as
Yeah,
we kind of discussed, just like you think about it a little bit and you're saying like, okay, is what this person's saying like reputable? Is it would it like again, we talked about it last week when we said like, what does she get out of this? Like, does this make sense? And our conclusion last week was that like this was a big risk on her part, so her coming out and lying seems like a really bad move. So
right.
it makes sense to believe it. And, sometimes you make that kind of analysis and you're wrong, and you find out later that, yeah, the person just didn't care anymore and you know, our guess now is that, yeah, she was just out there to make a point, and she didn't care how many bridges she burnt, because that's what she did. So
yeah, I don't know. Like the I was just thinking of this tweet, and I'm like, yeah, that's not okay.
yeah,
This tweet's a
that's
little bit.
not the way things go.
It's just like
But
it's not how things work. But okay. Um. Okay.